Hello everyone, I'm Caroline.
And I'm Phil.
And welcome to our happy hour chat with quizzes. Ooh, we got some happy news. We got some finds from the river.
Couple of finds, yes.
Good show coming up tonight.
And according to Phyllis, she says, I hear sound. So there we are, there's sound as well tonight,
Very
folks.
good, thank you, Phyllis.
It's going to be one of them very special evenings when you can actually hear us from the beginning.
Yes, I'm impressed.
We had tech support Tim down with us earlier, and he said, okay, I'll wait for another yell at around 9 o'clock. But it looks like we won't be yelling, as we've got sound and video is good.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ed.
Our spanners are on the ball.
Fully functioning spanners tonight. Thank you very much, spanners.
Yes.
Right, first three into the chat. So the first three on the podium for tonight is first in Bonnie Tyler fan 34. Well done. Second place is Ed Creative. Well done, Ed.
Excellent.
And third place is Rachel Bailey. So well done to you three.
Well done, Rachel.
First people on the podium for tonight.
Excellent. And there are 40 people in at kick-off.
So thank you all for joining us on a Saturday evening.
Yeah.
Not that if you're in Wales there's a lot else to be doing. It is cold and wet.
Well, it's a funny old day because every time we've gone out today, the car temperature gauge for the external temperature says 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Which other days 10 degrees doesn't feel so bad. But that wind was so
cold.
damp and chilly, so that wasn't funny. But it is promising us a bit of bright weather tomorrow and Monday. So we hope to be making a couple more videos during that time, don't we, dear?
We do. So, hello, Christina.
Before I've got to get back to work. So in between, we're hoping to do a few videos because it very much is controlled by the weather at the moment.
Yes.
I literally
terrible.
I go on the 14-day weather forecast and try and plan when we can go where and what we can do. But of course, unlike some parts of the world, here in the UK, the weather is very, very difficult to predict.
Yes.
I heard a programme one day, I think it was on Radio 4, and they were saying that the reason, because people always tease our weather people for being so useless, but they were saying the reason it's so difficult is because we're an island. And if you're on a large land mass, such as the United States or big areas like that, or Central Europe, then you can get a good idea what's happening. But with the sea, it throws them all apart, so they're never quite sure. So it's not 100%, but usually when we get within 3 days, they're about 70% right.
Quite often we say, right then, the weather is saying it's fine out, so why can we see rain? Or the other way around. That's
the other thing. They don't like to disappoint us, so having told us it'll be fine tomorrow, they don't like to change it, even though we look out the window and it's tipping down. So, we are like everyone else. We're like farmers. We have to work with the seasons.
We do.
But we still have a few in hand at the moment, which is a good position to be in.
Yep.
And we look forward to making more.
And before we go any further, I'm going to do a little experiment now. If those of you who are in a keen mood to help me out, if you type clap into your little box, your message box, but don't press enter. I'm going to clap, and if you can press enter when you hear the clap, because we've changed the system again, so I have no idea what the lag is. So when I clap now, if you've written clap in your little box, when I clap, just click the button. Right, and I'm waiting now, and there are...
Did anybody have it ready? That's the thing, because now they could be typing afterwards. Ha ha ha.
Still nobody said clap, so we're up at about 10 seconds now. So I think we still got a 20-second delay from when we say things to when... There we go, now. So yes, about 15-20 seconds still. Yep, it's all coming in together, so... I was hoping the system didn't have a delay.
Well, yeah, but...
You're confused now.
Yeah, because if I look at my timing, so we're on the countdown, there was a 20-second delay there, so it's bound to be a delay between sound.
But I'm on a different chat system to you see. I'm in the middle of OBS.
Very technical. Your chat came up exactly the same time as mine.
It's not fair, is it? I should be able to get live chat. I'm the boss, I'm in charge, I'm pressing the buttons.
And I have, but it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
There we go.
So now we know.
Which
I guess you meant clap.
Yeah, 9:04 on someone's screen.
Right, thank you, Ed.
So there we go. Yeah,
everybody, look, if anybody's just joined the chat now, why is everybody clapping? But yeah, right. So that's brilliant. Thank you. Just gives me a little bit of information that I need.
And they're now 45 in. While you were doing that, 5 more people have joined us, and
lovely
they're all
for you to join
thinking,
us.
why is everyone clapping?
And hello to everyone. There's so many names coming up, and hello everyone.
Yes,
right
indeed.
Then, we need to get started because
do you want to get started?
Action-packed.
Have we?
Hour. We
Oh,
do.
gosh.
Action-packed.
Oh, it's lucky I had a nap. Get that age now.
Every morning Phil says,
needed
right, I'm going to leap out of bed. We are now over 40 years married, he's never leapt out of bed.
No, I said, right, time to leap out of bed.
And he sort of crawls out of bed.
The mind is willing. There we go. Okay, shall we start with a question?
Yes, let's start with a
Come on,
question.
Manky. We're going to have to improvise because the lady of the house still hasn't written a new jingle. It's question time. There we go. Manky's done his job.
There we go, he's all exhausted now.
Right. Nice simple question for those who have keen hearing and have watched the video and taken all the information, which kind of leaves me out because I didn't even count the right number of monkeys in my own video last week. When we were adopted by the dog on our previous visit to that river, and I showed a clip of that on this occasion, we didn't have a clue what the dog's name was, so Caroline decided to make up a name. Was it A, Muttley, B, Monty, or C, Marty?
Go! There you go, you start putting your answers in, and...
It'll be in 15 seconds time we'll get the answers. We know that
will.
because we did the experiment
That's
doing
right.
it on.
So by the time we start getting
now
answers
know.
in, we can go straight for it.
Yeah,
because
we now know
it'll
we've got a
happen in
15
seconds.
second delay because
Right.
so we know what's happening.
Lynn said on my screen there were lots of claps before you did clap. Yes, that happens just because considering it's all done
it's
so
going
quickly
all
with
around the
modern
world.
technology, obviously your computer's running
Ooh.
slightly a different time to everybody else's. You're not getting the message signal back quite the same. So it happens quite often. That's why we end up with people saying, I was first. I'm like, sorry, you weren't.
Our 15-second lapse has lapsed and there are more answers coming in now. They're coming thick and fast.
But do
and
we have a winner? That's the question.
Well, actually, we do. We do. Because I can categorically state
Categorically.
the first 3 answers were correct. So, first, second and third go to the first 3 answers. Top of the tree with B for Monty, which is what Caroline nicknamed the dog because we didn't have a clue what his name was. He was with us for about half an hour.
I know.
The owner
Wasn't
the
it all
owner
about
was
it,
supposed to be taking the dog for a walk. Obviously, the owner was determined to get where he was going because he continued his walk and came back about 45 minutes later. He just walked without the dog. So he needed to get his steps in, expect. So, Ed Creative.
Well done, Ed.
You've got the gold. Andrea Mazzari has got the silver.
Well done, Andrea.
And Bonnie Tyler fan 34.
Well done, Bonnie Tyler fan.
So there we go. Ed on number 1 podium. Andrea on number 2. Bonnie Tyler fan on number
A lot of
3.
bees. Wow.
Lots of
well
bees.
done, everybody.
Yeah, and a couple of people went C. I don't think anybody went A.
Right.
I don't think anybody went A, but we did get it. We had a C in there, but we had lots of B's.
Yep.
So lots of correct answers. So all pat yourselves on the back.
Yes, well done. You're obviously being very good scholars and watching the programme thoroughly.
Indeed. Okie dokie. Right then, what are we going to do now? Are we going to show a find? Are we going to
Let's show a find.
Should we show a find?
Which one shall I go with mine?
You go with one of yours. Go with one of yours.
Oh, can you give
Find
me a
it.
hand?
Ha ha ha.
I know. Look at this.
Very nice.
I really like this. Now, I don't know if it's somebody sort of going upwards like that on something or whether it's somebody with their hand going downwards like that. But there is my hand. Well, it's not my hand, obviously. But it is the hand, if I turn it up that way. And I'm wondering what this is off. I'm thinking, is it off either a gravestone or some sort of very posh, ornate building? But
I think a garden
round.
ornament.
Do you think so?
I think possibly a garden ornament.
It
I'm
could
wondering
be.
if that's like a pillar.
Yes, I think it's
or
very
a
column
lamppost
or something.
and there was somebody leaning on it. You know, one
Yes.
of them statuettes they have in the garden.
Leaning on the lamppost.
It
So a
does,
certain
that sort
little
of
lady
thing.
goes by, yeah.
You know, that's what I'm thinking. Garden piece, and it's got washed away in a storm and smashed to smithereens.
Yes, and then we found it. And I wasn't very optimistic when we went down this time, because at a quick glance over the beach, sometimes you can tell if there's going to be a lot, and you could tell there wasn't going to be. And when I say beach, I mean a river beach. People say, why do you say beach? There's no sand. I always call anything that's just off the water a beach, so the river beach. And I didn't think we were going to find much, and then when I saw this, I'm like, oh, if I don't find anything else, I'm happy. So I was really pleased with that. And I can't tell, I think it's made of...
Is it composite?
I'm not sure. If I show you there, it could be. I don't think it's carved.
No. And seeing the hole through it, I think
but it might be.
I think it's a composite thing, I think.
Yeah. Possibly.
Which makes me again lean towards the idea of
yes, if you look there,
something garden.
It's been, I don't know if I can show you properly. A bit closer. No, fills that side. It's got like a glaze on it. So we'll go for concrete or composite, something like that. It's not stone. Oh.
Yeah, and I think it was some kind of garden ornament, I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, and Goodwin has definitely got gravestone vibes.
It does. It's got that look about it.
Part of a church statue, Rita Marburg's asking.
Could be, yes.
And what's that? What is that Ed said now? He's got people laughing. Might be the hand of Donkey Kong climbing the scaffolding.
Oh, yes, it could be, couldn't it?
There we go. There we are. Somebody's into his
computer
games. Then he'd be going
upward there when he'd pulling himself up. Like that. So there we go. I really am pleased with that.
And Phyllis says, I'm ashamed I put C. And a laughing Ed says, I decided not to name you, but I realised you were probably distracted during the actual dog piece, because it was the only bit of music in the whole of the film this week, and I believe it was one of your favourite pieces because it was the jazz bit. So I'm saying you were distracted by enjoying the music too much to remember the dog's name.
There we go. Sounds very believable.
Oh yeah, I'll make excuses for our spanner people. There we go. So there we are. Yeah, a couple of different ideas on what it could be.
Abigail said it has a piece of rebar in it by the looks. I was thinking that maybe there were several pieces and there was a bar running up, and then they could just slot it on. So I would love to find a picture of something that looks very much like that. It'd be fun, wouldn't it? So if ever you're looking around at things and you see something that looks like that, then please send a picture into the Facebook group and we can see if it's the same or not.
Yeah, Ribble Fine said, going off the idea of the hole in it, it could be, for what we've been saying, we said possibly to carry a cable, and it could have been a lamp.
Oh, yes, it could have been one of those like they do,
lamp,
yes,
just
for the garden.
Yeah, wouldn't have been very tall because of the thickness
unless it was further up and there was somebody. It could have been a person stood by the side of it.
That's right. That sort of pose, like our Santa Claus does. Our Santa Claus, he holds round the lamp like us, singing from his carol book.
Good thought.
That's one of our statues. So there we go. Could have been to carry an electrical cable. Oh, I tell you what, they're like Columbo out there. They're like detectives going for it. Look.
Yeah. Rita said it looks like he's holding the beam of a cross. Could it be that? Yeah, I don't think it's off a crucifixion type thing because the hand's just too curved, and I don't think that's. But it could well be some. It could be off a gravestone then, couldn't it? Because you get some that are made like this and they're in a cross shape and they'll have something on it. So it could be. Yeah. And the possibilities are endless. Great fun.
Lynn is trying to tempt me back to Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Says we have a hill of different bricks, Phil, at the old tip by us. Maybe for your next visit.
Thank you so much, Lynn.
We'll be back soon, Lynn.
That's it. We've got no choice now.
And I'll bring a trolley. Cool, I carried 4 bricks from that river. They were heavy. They were heavy. Indeed, they were. So look.
Flower Girl in Ward 17 said it looks like a gargoyle foot or a gargoyle hand. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, because our natural assumption is it's a human hand because of the shape of the fingers.
Yeah, Christina Cook said cherub hand. Now it is. It is chubby.
It is a chubby hand.
It is a chubby hand.
Yeah, and that could take us back towards
fingers.
church or grave.
Yes.
If there's a cherub. Oh, I tell you.
Does anybody know if there's a graveyard that has been washed into the river at Halifax Way? Now that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
like I say, because of its location, I'm still tempted towards the idea of coming from someone's garden, because they have the same problem up there as we have down in parts around here, especially down Machen way, where people's gardens get swept away.
Yes.
And remember we found that gorgeous brass trough with the lion's heads on
lovely,
either
that
end.
was,
That'd come washing out
I think
of
that was the
somebody's
first
garden.
ever mudlark we did.
I think it was.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah,
long
went
time
down
ago.
and we had to drag it up out of the river, and it was a trough about this size with lion's heads.
I think it was
on
about
it.
this big, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was sort of ovalish.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
about-
I can't remember. Maybe
It was at least 2 foot long, and
my daughter took that straight away and like, oh, I like
it
that.
got washed down the river. That did. Yeah, there we go. So lots of people. Yeah, well spotted, Christina, because as you say, it has got that chubbiness to it.
Yeah, because Rachel Bailey said it could be one of those 18th century dandies nonchalantly leaning against a lamppost.
Nonchalant. Nonchalant.
Right.
Is that French?
I don't know, actually.
Non.
Could be. Yeah.
Non sounds French.
Nonchalant. Yeah, it could be.
I'm on day 83 of Duolingo, aren't I?
You are. You're
Doing
impressive.
French. I am. I'm doing French, so I know non is French and nonchalant could be French.
It could well be.
I'll have to wait until chalant comes up in my talking.
I think it'll be a while. Nonchalant. Yeah, will somebody find out for us? Could you please have a look? Because I don't like to leave this screen. Nonchalant. Is it a French word? Does it mean something in French? Right then.
This is going with the cherub sounding plausible.
There we go.
Yeah. Right. Why are we going next? Are we going
so much to do.
Well, we've just done a find, haven't we?
Yes, so shall we do some news? Because it's...
Would you like to do some...
I should
Yeah,
do
you've got a
some-
news flash,
I
haven't you?
do
We
have
can
a
use the
news
news
flash.
flash, couldn't we? Could do, yeah. We just had an idea as well. A very good idea from Glenn Device, thinking of the hall and etc.
Yeah.
Possibly a fountain garden feature.
Yes.
Water come up the centre and then over the top. Look,
yes,
put
now
it
that
up
would
through.
make sense
That
too.
would make sense, and they do
Just
make
a
the
cherub or something
and
on
making it composite makes it heavy. Could be one of them ones where you have like a bowl in the bottom and then the water comes out the top. You know, you have, and that could be like something holding around it. Yeah. Oh, I tell you, excellent.
Oh.
It is French indeed.
Now Beata says it means relaxed and calm. Oh yes, very nonchalant. Relaxed.
So,
That was
I
really
wonder,
interesting, thank you.
wonder if it is non. I wonder if it is no, and like chalant, is it no stress?
It could well be.
You know, what do we say? Sort of thing for
we
that.
say,
When we say chill.
Relaxed, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
French for indifferent.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, whatever.
No problem.
Whatever.
Yeah. What's that other word? Mañana, isn't it?
Oh, that's Spanish now.
Yeah, mañana.
Tomorrow.
I'm
We'll do
multilingual.
it tomorrow. You are.
Multilingual, I am. I could say de baguette, s'il vous plaît. But I could do that before Duolingo.
You could.
Yeah.
So nonchalant is French for not being concerned.
There we are. Not concerned. I said it would be
so
no or
it's
something.
it's laid back, relaxed, not concerned, nonchalant.
Excellent. Wait, I
Thank
tell
you,
you what,
everyone.
this is becoming an educational channel.
Oh, I tell you.
I tell you.
People be watching this and getting a university degree.
I know, which is more than I have.
Right,
Okay,
shall I
go
get
for the
on?
news. Go for the news.
Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Go for it. Go for it.
It's an educational news flash.
Right, and this is a blind music teacher changes lives. A blind jazz saxophonist, Matthew, encourages his students to act on instinct, to feel the music through their instruments and not let the waking world deceive them. Sorry, we're having one of those punctuation crises again.
I do the punctuation.
Welcome to every day of my life, says Matthew in his jazz improvisation class after turning the lights off. Then we have a big laugh, he adds. They can't look at their instruments, so they have to feel with their fingers and hands. We've got to listen to the music, we can't read it. It forces the students to use their other senses. As an educator with blindness, Matthew stresses turning any disadvantage into an advantage, a teaching philosophy that has led some students to tell the man that he has changed the way they look at life. It's everything for me as an educator to hear someone say that you changed their life, he states. It's awe-inspiring, and I hope that I can inspire others who are dealing with their situations, disabilities, barriers and challenges in the same way that I have. Isn't that clever? Because we all, you could think, oh, it's a real disadvantage. But it's made him into a better musician, and obviously he's making his pupils into better musicians too. So it's amazing what we can learn by somebody who may think isn't as good at things as you would imagine. And then you find out, oh, they really are.
And of course, because of his disability, he has had to work 10 times harder to get the proficiency. Because I was reading the backstory to that, and they were saying that when he was going through college and studying, there were very few manufacturers turning out or organisations turning out Braille music. So he and his mum used to convert all the music to Braille for him to learn. And that's why he got into improvisation and that's what he teaches now. And like you say, it's not just the saxophone, but it sounds like the young people he teaches. I like that line when they said to him, "You've given us a different way of looking at life." Because we do get very streamlined, don't we? We all do it this way. And suddenly he throws it in the air. And I like the fact he shut the lights out and said, "Welcome to my world." He said, I play in the dark all the time. If I can do it, you can do it. Most interesting.
Well, we had a blind friend and we'd go and visit him, and then when it was time to leave in the winter, he'd say, "Oh, can you turn the light off on the way out, please?" Because he didn't need the light on, but if he knew we were coming, he'd turn the light on. But then, like he said, if you don't turn it off, it'll be on until my next visitors come. So we always used to turn the light off on the way out.
The other thing is, when people visited, because it was dark and he didn't realise it'd gone dark, they'd put the light on. And because they forget he's blind, then they didn't turn it off because they left it on for him. And he said, "I've had the light left on for 2 days before now, burning electric." But we also had an art teacher when we were home educating, when the children were young. One of the boys that taught them art, he was quadriplegic, wasn't he? And he taught them perspective, and the children would place the pencil sellotaped to a piece of wood into his mouth. And then Martin would then draw and teach them how to do perspective, which we realised, well, through doing that, it didn't only teach our children art, but it probably taught them an even bigger lesson about life, to be with someone who was so skilled, but they had to help him. Unless they put the pencil in his mouth, he couldn't draw. So they, as children, were placing the pencil in the teacher's mouth, and then the teacher could do the work. So I think it probably helped them considerably to work with Martin, not just in their artistic endeavours, but just in learning lessons for life. And I think that's what probably struck me with that story, is it's a whole life lesson to work with a teacher who others would see as disabled or handicapped or held back or limited, and he is able to show them that he's not. Because our friend who was blind was also a pianist.
He was.
And he wrote over 80 gospel songs after going blind. He'd learned to play while he was sighted, and then lost his sight, and he had a grand piano in his house, and he wrote over 80 gospel songs, and he had a ministry, and he was touring and performing and all of that, and he was blind.
Amazing what people do.
Absolutely amazing.
Right, we've got some news in before we do anything else. Lexi's mum is in hospital, and I just read because somebody said how is she, and she's having a second blood transfusion today because her red blood cells are low, and she's on a different antibiotic now. Well, please send a message from us.
Yes, indeed.
We really hope she gets better soon and she can come home, because there's nothing like your own bed, is there? So sending her all best wishes.
Yeah, tell her we're really sorry that she's in hospital, and that we send her all our love. And as I said in the comments yesterday, Manky sends hugs and kisses too. So hopefully she'll be back with us soon.
Yes, that'd be lovely.
And all the best to you as well at the moment, Lexi, because we know from having family in hospitals, it's a stressful time as well.
Keeps you busy, doesn't it?
Trying to go with the routine and get into the visits and finding what they want, and the worry about the person you care about, because you have to come away. And for hours at the time, you're not there and you don't know what's going on. So our thoughts are with you as well, kid.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Shall I do a question?
Go on then, do a question.
Right there.
Okay, then Panky wants to go.
Oh, Manky was all excited then. You don't get to have a go.
It's question time. It's question time. It's question time. It's question time.
I tell you what, they won't want the jingle back. It's getting too good.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, folks. Caroline found a couple of mobile phones on this visit.
I did.
Yes, obviously the people in that area don't like their old phones, and they think, where can I put this? I know, I'll put it in the river.
I think it's probably more theft.
Yeah, thefts or dropped out of people's pockets and things when they're out walking. But I want to take you back in time. I want to take you back 40 years.
40 years?
40 years to when the mobile phone was new.
Oh, I was 20.
Yeah, they were new. This was a big deal. Because in 1984, the Motorola 8000X.
8000X sounds
big number for a first phone,
sounds
isn't it?
very technical.
Where'd you go from there? Came onto the market offering, this'll blow your socks off, 30 minutes of talk time with a single charge.
Ooh.
Admittedly, in order to charge it, it took 10 hours. So you had to charge this thing for 10 hours to get 30 minutes of talk time. It weighed over 3/4 of a kilogram. So that's a fair old weight.
Yep.
And it cost how much? How much would you have paid in 1984 when they launched for this Motorola 8000X? Do you think it was A, $2,000? Or do you think it was B, $3,000? Or do you think it was C, $4,000?
Go!
So there we are. Now, whichever one of those is, it's a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money. When you think 40 years ago, we've just gone through an inflation crisis. I think the world has, but we've gone through one in the UK whereby they've had to put the pensions up for our pensioners by 10% just so that they don't fall back, just to try and so they can buy the same food and stuff as they were buying last year. So when you think of that happening in a matter of weeks here in the UK, then over 40 years, $1,000 40 years ago was a lot of money.
Technology does that though, doesn't it? It gets cheaper and cheaper all the time.
It gets cheaper, it gets lighter,
yeah,
and
less reliable, I
and,
reckon.
and you can charge it a lot quicker. When you think the thing you carry around now, which probably weighs a tenth of what that weighed, will do all the internet. You can run your business on it.
Yeah.
You can
run your life on it.
You can
everything.
film YouTube videos on it. And back then, just to be able to talk, and you could only talk from certain places. And how I know this was because there was a rep who worked for a company and used to come up to the colliery that I worked in. And he loved coming to our colliery because they had just issued him with one of these phones. The company had got him in so they could keep track and keep sort of redirecting their staff. But there was no signal at our colliery. So when he'd arrive,
he was invisible.
He wouldn't leave, and he'd say, "Oh, I was stuck there doing a job, and I'm sorry you couldn't get hold of me." But they had poor sort of coverage. They took 10 hours to charge. You could only talk for 30 minutes, and they'd be flat. And they cost. Let's have a look what people are thinking. Well, right. I can see straight away that we've got A's, B's, and C's.
Like this, that one was first in. Can you see that one?
Yeah, I'm going back up.
Okay.
That one there?
Yep, there we go.
There we go. We agree.
We're in the same place.
Right, so that's the first answer
let's
in.
Have a look. We got a lot of different.
We got in the first 4 answers we've got them all. But I can tell you that this particular phone, when it came on the market, was $3,995. So I rounded it up, $4,000.
Right.
$4,000, which, according to the calculation that I looked at, would be near enough £10,000 these days.
Right.
For a mobile phone.
So it wasn't for everybody.
Which makes the iPhone look cheap.
It does.
By comparison.
Not much does, but that does.
So, we are looking for C, 4,000. And the first person to give it was Dan Fedders.
Well done, Dan.
Excellent. Andrea's back at the silver again. Andrea Mazzari.
Well done, Andrea.
And I'm looking for another C. Rita.
Well done, Rita.
Rita Marburg. There we go. That's our 3 C's. Dan, Andrea and Rita. Yeah, I was stunned by that. I thought people would probably be going more for the 2,000 and 3,000. $4,000 when they first launched.
Right.
Mind you, when they first brought out colour TVs,
they were silly money.
Then they came out with HD, which I particularly don't like. I can't stand it. Go up my son's, he's got this wonderful, huge telly, and I just think it looks false. All the people look wrong. I like a good old telly that just merges everybody together. I don't like all this definition stuff. That's not how it's meant to be. If it was meant to be like that, it would have been from the beginning. I'm the one who watches black and white movies anyway. But TVs now, when they brought out the high definition and the big tellies, they were thousands of pounds. People were paying £3,000-4,000 for a telly. You can get them now for £300 or £400 in places, and £1,000 will buy you something really fancy. Yeah. So it always happens, as you say. Technology will always work its way down. Prices always. Yeah,
well, apparently it was. No, don't quote me on this, but apparently it's like when they first come up with technology.
Quarter.
They go on to get all the money back for research and development, so it's very, very expensive. When they've recouped all the costs for research and development, then they slowly start lowering the price to the next lot of people who can afford one. When they've all got one, they lower it a bit more, and they keep lowering it and lower it. Meanwhile, there's something else coming in at the top end. So just when you get to the point when you can afford it, they bring in a new one and say, oh, yours is a bit old, you need to buy this one. So they can get all their money back on research and development for that one.
Yeah, lots of people reminiscing about their phones. Of course, another thing is, when they initially launch something, the production levels are not as high. So they think, right, we'll sell it to the exclusive few. As soon as they can produce by the millions, and then sell far more, then commercial enterprise takes over. Because I remember we were working at one time with a guy that was involved in helping young people who got into the cycle of drugs. And he was saying that the laws of commerce worked there as well. Because he said back in the 50s and 60s, it was very much a rich person's problem. But then the dealers started
YouTube Read isn't like you discussing that sort of thing,
like I say,
that
happened there as well. And it ended up that the youngsters all over the world like.
Right then, where's that gone now? Somebody said, I can't find it now. Oh.
What did they say?
Ed, he said, if you found one of those phones in a river, you'd shout, I found a brick. Yeah, I tell you what, if we found one of those phones in a river, we'd shout, yes, ka-ching. I wonder how much they're worth now. Could be worth a fortune.
Hello, West Country Midlarks. They said hello, they joined us. Lovely to see you.
Hello there.
And Lexi is saying that her first one was a Motorola, but it wasn't $4,000.
Right.
Because Lexi had hers, I think it's just jumped up the page a bit. I think it was 1998. So it was a bit later.
Yes.
And it didn't do anything, just only made calls, no texts, and it was blue.
Ooh, very posh with a blue one.
Very nice. A blue body glove.
Oh, blue body glove.
Ooh, that's one of them cases you put them in, isn't
Must it? Be, I've heard them called socks.
Did we have a Motorola? Was that our first one?
I can't remember.
Little stumpy area, like a little finger on the top. Oh,
yes, and you could unscrew it.
Like a... Yeah.
Right then, we need to be getting on with something else now, don't we? So,
another find.
Yeah,
let's have a look. Oh, here we go. I tell you what, this find will link to the next question.
Oh, see? Very convenient. Guess what it is?
It's a phone. It's a phone from 1984.
If only.
Yeah, it would be worth a few bob if it was. This, I haven't brought all the bricks. I've got 4 bricks. And the other 3 will be included in the question. But this one I brought down because we couldn't quite see what was going on with this one because it was very mucky, wasn't it? So I give it a bit of a clean up now, folks, for you to have a look at. Ah, that's heavy.
Oh. I think you're building your muscles up. With a beach body ready for the summer.
And it is D. Sharratt and Sons.
Sharratts, like carrots, only with a sh.
Yeah, Sharratts. Sharratts. And 3 out of 4 of the S's on this are backwards.
Right.
Which just goes to show how complicated it is for people to try and put things into molds that they don't realise then print in reverse. Because, in fact, the old word sons is reverse because the N is the wrong way round.
What do you think of the sack?
The only thing you can't be sure is the wrong way round in the word sons is the O. So well, I got one right, but there we are. D. Sharratts and Sons, Elland. And I can tell you that David Sharratt.
Oh, David Sharratt, right?
Yes, David Sharratt was manufacturing fire bricks in Elland in 1860 and possibly before, but there's a record of them producing it in 1860.
Right.
But later on, the firm changed its name because obviously he got married, had children, so he named it and Sons. So we know that our brick has to be post 1907, as the National Archives list D. Sharratt and Sons as being founded in 1907.
Right.
And they closed in 1966.
Right.
So we know it's got to be before 1966.
Right.
So that means it's got to be at least nearly as old as you. And it's probably older than that. But 1907.
Lynn said Ireland isn't far from where you found it. Oh, so it hasn't travelled far at all then.
There we go. So that's a bit of history on that. But now we can have a question related to bricks. Who's going for it?
Who's going for it?
Who's going for it? Oh, there
Manky.
we go.
A Panky's going to do today. Excuse me, everybody. I'd just like to say that there's a question coming up. So be ready. Any minute now, you're going to have the word go and then you've got to send your answer in. So, nice Mrs. Johnson. Okay? I'll leave you now. Bye.
What a polite introduction.
She's
yes.
very kind.
Okay. As I said, I brought 4 bricks home. One of which was D. Sharratt and Sons. But which of those bricks that I brought home was produced by a company that provided bricks for the foundation of both the Empire State Building and Blackpool Tower?
Fame.
Was it A. Wilkinson's, was it B. Accrington's Norrie, or was it Greenwood's, which would be C?
Go!
Right, so they're the other 3. We've got Sharratt's, but out on the front there in my yard, I have got a Wilkinson brick, that's A, an Accrington brick, Accrington Norrie, and I've got C, would be a Greenwood's. Which of those companies provided bricks for the foundations of the Empire State Building and Blackpool Tower? What do we think? It's A, B or C? Here's an interesting thing. While the answers are coming in, Norrie. Where did that come from? Now there are several different ideas because nobody actually knows. It's one of those questions that nobody knows. But my favoured thought.
Your favourite thought, right? Okay then.
My favourite thought is this. Like the S's are backwards on there. If they put the whole word backwards, it would have read iron. And because they were a very heavy, strong brick, then one theory is that it was meant to read iron, but they reversed it, or they deliberately reversed the word iron and made the word Norrie because they had strong bricks. There are other ideas, which I'm sure some of the local people will know about.
Right, I'm very interested. Norrie just reminds me of seaweed.
Yeah, I think it was Lexi said, "Oh, I thought you were talking about seaweed." Yeah, but when you look at Norrie, N-O-R-I-I-R-O-N. See, when I was doing my research,
you may find the same person who put all those S's in back was actually meant to put iron and put Norrie, and it just stuck.
There we go. Yeah, some people say it was an accident, but
could have been.
So, and then they stuck with it. But there again, it depends what you think. Did they mean to write iron and they just put it in backwards? Okay, lots of answers coming in, so we'd better put you out of your misery, folks, because it was Accrington's Norrie bricks that were used.
Right.
And when we picked the bricks up, they are 50% heavier than the other bricks. Much heavier. And to that end, possibly stronger. And I was reading an article asking why are some bricks stronger than others, and they say it's all down to the clay source.
Right.
All down to the chemical makeup and the minerals in the clay. Ultimately, you can't, if you haven't got the right clay, you're not going to make a stronger brick. So that's what it is. It's just that they hit on a seam of clay that gave them the edge. So we're looking for B.
Right.
And to get B, I go to the second answer on my list.
Not too bad.
Which is Sally.
Well done,
Sally Sendall. That's a B. Then Dan Fetters is back.
Well done, Dan.
And Phyllis has redeemed herself.
Well done, Phyllis.
For not knowing Monty's name, because she's got the right brick company. So it's Sally, Dan and Phyllis, and a special mention for Bonnie Tyler fan, Ribble Finds and Crafts and Beata, because when Phyllis came in, there was 4 in a row with her. So you put the post on them. Well done. But it is Sally, Dan and Phyllis that got gold, silver and bronze.
Oh, Billy B said, miss you two doing eBay. Yes, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? I can't remember when we gave up doing the Celtic Traders.
When we started this, wasn't it? We started this and then
when did we start this? I can't remember. The years have just gone by so quickly.
It's got to be 5 years.
Or at least.
It's got to be 5 years.
Because when you think COVID was...
I have to have a look.
I don't know. We'll check one day.
We'll have to have a look one day when we started.
Yes.
When our first videos went out. But it's got to be 5 years, I'm sure.
Yes, a long time.
But yeah, because of course we were the Celtic Traders and we used to give everybody advice and give our sales and everything and try and encourage people. And of course that has taken off now because you've got the likes of Gary Vee and others with millions of followers who were big guys, big characters outside, and they decided to try and they picked up on what we realised. And that is that through such places as eBay, people that are restricted perhaps in their financial opportunities, if they've got a phone or a laptop, they can work from home and they can start a little business and improve their lot. And that's
not as easy as it was.
No.
We noticed the difference.
As soon as you've got millions of people being told about it, I suppose it's bound to expand.
Yes, it flooded the market with sellers who were all looking for those bargains to sell, so it's certainly not what it was.
And a different kind of buyer and seller now, because of course you're getting a lot of young people now, and they go through. We were in a shop this week.
They shop.
And there was a chap went through there, and he went through every item of clothing in an entire charity shop, and he bought 2 shirts. And he was just push label, and he went, I thought he was working in the shop. He was being so careful and sophisticated. It looked like he was checking the tags that the shop had put on to see that if anything was out of date, because they leave them up 3 weeks and take them off. He wasn't checking company names. He knew his stuff.
We'd go into a shop and you could tell a reseller, because I had the reseller flick. And the reseller flick was you could go through a whole rack of clothes, you just go flick, because all you were looking for was the tag to see if it was a valuable make. And you could see somebody, they'd walk in and they go flick, oh, there's a reseller.
And they go up to the counter and, they stood there with like 7 items of ladies' clothing, anything from size 8 to size 22. Because it doesn't matter.
That's right.
All they're looking for is the item and the quality, and then they buy them. And it gives lots of money to the charity shops because people are buying in bulk and it's getting them through. And quite often, we used to get some real bargains in the charity shops that were the end of the line. They were there for a week and then they were going for rags. And we've had some things in there that were really good items to sell, but they would have been recycled as rags if we hadn't got them. So that was quite good.
Yep.
Right. Where are we going next? Would you like to have another question or happy news? What do you want to do?
Oh, let's go another. How many questions we got left?
Oh, how many do you want? I got 3 if you want them.
Oh, we better go for a question. Time is running out. We're chatty tonight.
Oh, come on. It's Manky's turn.
Oh, come on then.
Manky's turn. Here we go. Hiya, everybody. It's question time! He's not quite panky, I know, but he does get excited.
You would never believe they were brother and sister.
Right then, but they were separated at birth and only reunited much later. Okay, folks. There was a question about what is this? Caroline actually found one of those on this visit. And we realised eventually that it was what is known as a roller chain. It was a double-linked chain, so possibly off a piece of industrial machinery, could have been off a loom, could have been off a machine such as a motorbike or something like that, with a double-linked chain with a double sprocket, but that's what it was. And therefore, I have a question with regards to roller chains. The earliest mention of a chain was in 225 BC by Philo, who was a Greek engineer and wrote about mechanics. And he wrote about something, described it, and it was obviously a chain. And in the early 1500s, Leonardo da Vinci created sketches that appear to show the first ever steel chain. But here's my question. How long after Da Vinci's drawings did James Fussell patent the first roller chain? Did he patent it 100 years after? That would be A. 200 years after? That would be B. Or 300 years after? That would be C.
Go. I was thinking...
You were thinking of the answer instead of thinking to say go. There we go. Right then, folks, what do you think? So we're talking early 1500s. So simply, if you think it was in the 1600s that somebody patented it, give me an A. If you think it was the 1700s, then B. If you think it was the 1800s, then C. Is it 100, 200 or 300 years after Da Vinci created his drawings that Mr. Fussell patented? He actually struggled. He patented it, but he wasn't very successful at first. And he lost a lot of money.
Did he?
And he was patenting it as a means for... It was something to do with canals and barges.
Right.
Possibly on lock gates. Or it may have been to transfer, to pull a machine to pull the boat through the lock or something like that. But it was something to do with that, and he patented it, he tried to invent it. But as can often be the case, you patent your idea, but then trying to bring that idea to market can be more expensive. That's why you have things like Dragon's Den and all these shows, where they look for angel investors who will fund them, sort of thing. Right, let's have a look, yeah. Ooh, got lots of answers in.
Seem to have, I think we've got a bit of everything. Oh no, we haven't. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Ignore me. I'm talking rubbish.
Well, the good news is that we've got correct answers.
Ooh.
Because it was 300 years after. It was in the early 1800s that the first chain of this style was patented.
Right.
Which means the first 5 answers were correct.
Well,
but we can only give prizes to the top 3.
And who are the top 3?
And the prize is you get mentioned. Before you get too excited out there. Oh, he's going for gold now, Dan Fetters.
Well done, Dan.
But hot on his heels at silver, it's Beata Heinz.
Well done, Beata.
And then it's our man with the spanner, the creative Ed.
Well done, Ed.
So it's Dan, Beata and Ed. And a quick mention for Andrea and Bonnie Tyler fan, because they came in 4th and 5th. But there we are, 5 in a row, correct answers, 300 years.
Ed said, lifting the narrowboat upwards to a higher level, I think he heard somewhere.
Right, that's what he was trying to do, using a lifting hoist, using a chain. Well, all I know is he put a lot of money into it and lost a lot of money doing it. But he did advance it. It took a while then before somebody got the product really working. And now it's an integral part of so much machinery over the years, including all our push bikes. Because they've driven on those chains, haven't they?
Yeah.
But there we go. You learn a lot here, folks.
You do.
Shall I do my happy news?
Go on then, you do your. I'll give you what you want. Gonna want a jingle. Just a second, I'm gonna find it.
Okay, my story is about a wedding that never was. Bride-to-be turns cancelled wedding into an incredible party. In the true definition of a worst-case scenario, a California bride-to-be is reported to have called off her entire non-refundable wedding reception worth $15,000 after learning something about her fiancé. But she took the disaster and turned it on its head by donating the entire reception party, complete with dinner, drinks, desserts, DJ, dancing and photo booth, to a non-profit organisation called Parents Helping Parents, which provides community support to parents with children who have special needs. It makes me feel grateful for the resilience and kindness of people, that this bride could do something so generous and thoughtful in the face of her own sadness, It is inspiring, said Maria, the Executive Director of Parents Helping Parents. Organisers at PHP sent out invitations for the Ball for All, as they called it, and had all the seats reserved 48 hours before the event. The bride had said the party was to be for all the special needs folks from 0 to 100, and the gesture touched the hearts of all involved. Maria added that the bride's generosity took the organisation totally by surprise, and having worked her whole career in the not-for-profit sector, the most rewarding aspect is watching decent causes bring out the best and most altruistic tendencies in people, she said.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful, because in that situation, something awful has happened, some news has come, she's devastated, the wedding's cancelled, she could have just walked away. But she thought, well, it's all paid for. And then thought, right, I'm going to give it away. And I thought, and as they said, I love the way they said, it took everyone at the organisation completely by surprise. They'd never been given that kind of gift. And you can imagine, a wedding it was going to be so, everything was there.
Very nice. Very well catered.
She just wanted to give it to these people, which I thought, lovely story. So there's another bit of good news. We've got the blind saxophonist and the generous bride-to-be.
Yes.
I think it's nice to share the good news.
It is.
It is. There's good people in the world, folks. There are a lot of good people in the world. It's just the bad people get the headlines.
Yes.
More often than not.
Right, we need to fit in another question because we're running late. Or do you want to do another find? Do a find quickly.
I tell you what, I'll just give a quick look here.
Look at this. Look at him.
Again. Because CD, Nicky and Annette said, that looks like a wolf. Now, in fairness, the first of those said that looks like a wolf because they live in North America, so they're more used to wolves. Of course, I live in Wales and we don't have wolves, but we do have dragons.
If you turn it on his side, it looks more like a dragon then, doesn't it?
So like that?
And the other way. The other way.
Like that?
Like that. That looks, I think.
There he is, my dragon's head.
Yeah, it's very convincing. Straight away you can see, oh yes, that definitely looks like a dragon. Could be a fossilised dragon.
Yeah, so that was about... I just love it when I pick things up and think, that looks like that. And it's just nature. That has been smashed and broken and then washed in the river. And it's so tactile and so flat. So it can be on a desk, or I can drill a hole in there and then it can hang on a wall.
You could.
You can have a dragon's head on the wall.
The other thing is we need to come up with a way to stop things out of the river smelling. Because they smell green and sort of
They smell green. Carly said, it smells green in here.
Yes, and I've forgotten just how green the room smells. For want of a better
I didn't know
description. Not a pleasant green.
Yeah. And also, on the issue of wolf or dragon, we have also had some hot off the press information from Sarah with regards to sherds and shards.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
This is important.
Because she ended with a laugh and said, call it what you like. But Sarah just happens to have been a student who did her degree in archaeology and said one of the first things they learned was that a sherd is pottery, a shard is glass. Which is probably why the Shard in London is called the Shard, because it's made of glass. So there we are, a little bit of information.
Now we know, so I'll try to get that right when we're out and about, but I can't promise it.
Okay, come on then. Who's going to have a go now? Want to have a go? He said, I want to have a go. He said, I haven't had a go. He said, can I have a go? Yeah, you can have a go.
Oh, Phyllis said bicarbonate white vinegar. Good suggestion. White vinegar is pretty good, isn't it, for taking smells away? I'll give that a try. Thank you, Phyllis.
Hello, everybody. I don't come out very often, and I just wanted to tell you, it's time for a question.
Okay, right. Question time. Chance for you to redeem yourself here now, Phyllis, because it's another question about Monty the dog. What colour was Monty's collar? Was it A, blue, B, red, or C, black?
Go! Now that's a difficult one.
Ah, right. He went bounding down into the river, and I slowed him down as he went, so that he went along to the music.
Like the $6 million man. Do you remember that? Steve Austin, a man barely alive, and then we can rebuild him. He used to go.
What are we going for, folks? Do you think it's A, blue, B, red, C, black? What was Monty's colour?
The right mix of answers coming in.
We have,
all over the shop.
Oh.
So let's see, because we got about 4 minutes and that big question coming up then.
Oh, why? The big question. And
Right,
we got one more find to do before then.
Right, so do we have a winner?
Indeed, we do. In fact, we have a first, a second, and a third. Because it was... What did you think it was?
Blue.
Wrong. So all those who said blue...
You're
Caroline
wrong.
thought it was blue as well, and Caroline was there.
What were the other options?
Red and black.
Red.
Correct. So it's red, folks, which is B. So this time, Beata is on the gold podium. Bonnie Tyler fan is on the silver podium. And hello, Mr. Mike Sage. He's on a podium tonight, taking the bronze, because Dan went with you with the blue. So it's Andrea.
Well done,
no,
Andrea.
Sorry,
No,
Andrea's top of the list, but she had A. She agreed with you. She's in good company, but wrong. Beata.
Well done, Beata.
Bonnie Tyler fan.
Well done, Bonnie Tyler fan.
And Mike Sage.
Well done, Mike Sage. And it's interesting, I've got to say something, because Ed has said dogs are colourblind, so Monty didn't know. No, I was always told that dogs were colourblind. We had a dog, and we bought from the car boot sale these little mat things, little samples, I think they were, for her to sort of slit on. And I didn't know which one to use, so I put them all down on the floor, and I thought, well, which one goes best with the carpet in this room? And she sat on the orange one. So I thought, and she seemed to work purposely towards it. So I picked them all up and I put them down in a different order, and she went to the orange one, and 3 times I did it. 3 times she went to the orange one. So
there's always the possibility that there was a scent on it.
No, they could have been, but they were just new,
it could have
been a scent, but I'm a sceptic now as to whether they really are colourblind.
And what makes me sceptical is, who asked the dog if they could tell colours? Yeah, no.
They probably do tests.
They say, excuse me, what colour is this? And the dog don't answer, and they say, he's colourblind, he is, because he didn't tell me it was orange. Yeah, I think that's an unfair test, because in my experience, dogs don't talk, except in cartoons.
There you go, so who knows?
Who knows?
Oh, Jason said, gentlemen, we can rebuild him. I wonder who he's talking about. They came out then, it couldn't have been a $6 million woman, was it? What was the woman? Was it just the bionic woman they came out with afterwards? Wasn't that Farrah Fawcett Majors?
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but there was definitely a bionic woman.
We did have a bionic woman. Did anybody know who the bionic woman was? What was the title of the programme? Right then, so are we going to... Oh, right then. Do this last find, which is...
breaking your find.
It's my fairy wings, but they're not my fairy wings. A bit small for me. I keep mine tucked under my jacket. And I think they're going to be good, because if you look there, you can see they split. The plastic, I was hoping they'd be stone or something, or metal even. So we do have, what is it Tim's given us? Tech support spudgers, I think he called them.
They're for separating things. And we're just wondering if these can be separated safely. Ooh, something went pop.
Did it go pop or did it go crack? That's the difference.
Oh.
Ah, right, so it was the bionic woman. Thank you, Andrea. And Lindsay Wagner was the bionic woman. She was the most beautiful woman back in the day.
Yeah, because Farrah Fawcett, was she one of Charlie's Angels or something?
Yeah, I think she was Charlie's Angels, wasn't she? Yeah, big hair. Right.
I tell you what, while I'm doing this, we'll have the final question, and Manky's going to do this because it's a Manky question. Hi everyone, this is all about me. Right then, how many times did Manky appear in this week's video? Was it A2, B3 or C4? And I hope I got it right this week.
Go!
I hope I got it right.
So Anne said the bionic woman was played by Lindsay Wagner. Now that name really isn't in my mind. And Flower Girl said no, she was not a Charlie's Angel. What was Farrah Fawcett Majors in then? Okay, another question. Somebody help. What was Farrah Fawcett Majors in? I'm trying to think who was in Charlie's Angels. Somebody was blonde in Charlie's Angels. Jamie Summers was the character's name, right? And, right, so, oh, hello, Jeff. Nice to see you in.
Hiya, Jeff.
Oh, I haven't said hello to Laura Sully's Creations. Hello. Right then. So, Beata's saying Charlie's Angels. Farrah Fawcett was married to Lee Major, who played the Bionic Man. That's probably where I'm getting the connection. Didn't she change her name to Farrah Fawcett Majors? Something like that. Just a guess. Yeah, now, Carlin is saying that Farrah was in Charlie's Angels. Jen said Charlie's Angels. Oh, these really important questions keep coming up, do they? Thing is, you remember back then, but it all, for me, it becomes a bit of a jumble. Right, Farrah Fawcett was a Charlie's Angel. And Flower Girl saying Farrah was a Charlie's Angel, so was Jacqueline Smith, I remember, and Cheryl Ladd, yep. I remember the names now. Lindsay Wagner was not an angel. Right. Because you never saw Charlie, did you? You saw, I can't remember what the man was called who always looked after them, but then apparently he'd say, oh, and Charlie was in the room, and you're all thinking, oh, I missed him. If I'd known, I'd have gone to look. Where, of course, nowadays we just rewind and say, I wonder which one Charlie was. I don't reckon he was. I don't think they even had an actor who played him. They just kept us all guessing and teased us.
Well, I think that's going to take a little bit more ingenuity. I don't know how we're going to get that apart.
Okie dokie.
So I don't want to snap it.
Do you want to do the last? It doesn't matter if we do.
Right, now then. Crisis time.
Crisis time.
Yes, because the majority agree with me.
Got it.
But Ribble Finds and Craft has got a different answer.
Oh, Jeff. Thank you so much. You interrupted Phil, well done. A £10 super chat. Just caught you tonight. It's raining again. Oh, thank you ever so much, Jeff. That really is kind of you, and we really do appreciate that.
We do indeed.
Have you been out on the farm in the rain tonight? It's not very nice, is it?
Well, I'm going to stick my neck out here.
Oh, go on then.
And disagree with Ribble Finds and Crafts, which I don't do often.
Oh, right. We could have a fight on our hands.
Because I believe the answer is 3.
Right.
Or B.
And what did Ribble say?
2.
Oh, right.
Now he says on the bank in by Phil and on the bank in again. So he's got 2. You got it open?
I've got it open. Ugh,
yeah, I tried to get it back out, but I couldn't because it was closed.
Really gory. There's that in it.
It's a piece of metal, is it?
I'm not sure what that's off. So I won't
there
hold it.
You've now got wings.
There we go. They need a wash and I need a wash.
We have got 2 wings. We will show you those next week cleaned up. Right then. So according to me, on the wall, when I was showing the hand and that piece of ceramic you found, which you weren't sure if they belonged together, and we discovered they weren't. He was also with us during the game of Plain or Pattern.
He was, yeah.
And at the end, in the very final seconds of the thing, I mentioned that I had a lot of bricks, and there was a piece of B-roll with the 4 bricks, and Manky was stood among them.
Oh, right. So, which one did you get, Ribble? Which one was it?
I'm going to have to check on that, but I've got on the wall showing Caroline's finds, during Plain or Patterned, and by the pile of bricks. So I'm going with 3.
Right, well, Anne said she was going to answer 2 but forgot to press send. Why do that?
So I'm going with 3, which is 3 or B. And Dan Fetters wrote the word 3. And Faraway Portal said 3.
Well done, Faraway Portal.
And Bonnie Tyler fan said B, which is 3.
Well done, Bonnie Tyler fan.
Just Pippin, Mike Sage and Beata, who also had B.
Oh, well done. Pip to the post.
So I will check out the timings on those 2 there with Ribble Finds, but I'm not sure if they're counting 1 as 2 as 1 or what, but there we go.
Oh, and Rachel Bailey said Charlie's voice was by actor John Forsyth, well known as Blake Carrington on Dynasty. Right.
There we go, and now we know. Right then, folks, it's 10:05. Let's go bed.
So it's been a long day, but thank you ever so much for joining us. I need to go wash my hand now. So we'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget,
have fun.
Bye.